The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast, is brought to you by, well, of course, you. If you want to learn more about how you can support the show, go to patreon.com/expat2020. Hey everyone, welcome to The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast. I'm your host, Expat2020. This is episode 15, along with my co-host, Dan. Dan, how are you doing today, man?
Hello, yes, tickety-boo, thanks. How are you?
What does chickadee-boo mean?
Tickety-boo. It just means everything's in shipshape and in correct order.
Excellent. I'm doing good, man. Doing good. The weather out here is getting colder now, and a lot drier. So just preparing for the winter season that's coming.
Okay. Sounds good. Yeah.
It's
getting fresh.
And our special guest again today, he was on for episode 5. So for episode 15, CorelianJedi. Welcome to the show again, man. How you doing?
Hey, doing good. How are you guys doing?
Hello.
Doing good, man. Doing good. Hi. So, Jedi, tell us, leading up, we're only days away from the new console generation starting, but what are you playing right now?
Right now, I'm juggling 2 games. I'm playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey in preparation for Valhalla, which comes out, I want to say Tuesday. And I picked up via peer pressure Ghost Runner, which has been an amazing game to play.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. So it's one of those high-paced, always action, always moving. The way that it's been described, and we talked about it, it's like a Mirror's Edge and Doom Eternal had a baby in a cyberpunk world. It's just running around, hacking, slashing, parkouring, and just run.
Cool. All right. Okay. So, before we start talking about what Dan and I have been playing, I want to tell everyone out there that you can head over to the Arena Multi-Platform Gaming News Podcast, where you can find us on any podcast app for iOS or Android, as well as on Spotify and Amazon Music. Just download your favorite podcast app or open Spotify and search for the Arena Multi-Platform Gaming News Podcast. Subscribe, follow us, post a review, and leave us questions, comments, and feedback if you like, if that feature is available there, and spread the word about the podcast. We also have a website for the podcast at expat2020.podbean.com, where you can follow us and leave questions and comments as well. Also, if you would like to support the show and get early access to every episode and listen ad-free along with other perks, please visit patreon.com/expat2020 for further details. And I'm going to be having some news about our Patreon coming soon. So please stay tuned for that. And I'll be posting that on Twitter as well in the upcoming days. So please look out for that. So you can also find us and follow us on Twitter at the Arena, AMPGNP, which stands for a multi-platform gaming news podcast. Finally, the podcast will also be uploaded to my YouTube channel at Expat2020 Gaming, so you can go there to listen and subscribe and click that notification bell for future podcast episodes, and also leave any comments or questions you might have that we might read on a future episode. So, Dan, I've been continuing to play Dead Space 2. Now I'm in that area of it's like a nursery, kind of like a school area, the gym and everything like that. That's a cool part of the game right there, man. It's really difficult to get through that section. All those little
the baby heads, right?
The baby heads coming at you, just waves and waves of baby heads. That was great. But yeah, now I'm like in chapter 8. So I'm progressing pretty good. I'm getting closer to the end now. And I'm also live streaming it. So, on my Twitch channel. So please check that out. So, what have you been playing recently, Dan? Did you finish, the Judgment game? Did you finish that?
No, I'm still chipping. Actually, I got to a really hard bit and got kind of bored.
Mm-hmm.
and I've been a bit busy, but I will do. I'll go back to it soon. There's this one guy who just like one hit kills you, and I hated it, and it really annoyed me. So I rage quit it for a while.
I see.
So I'll come back to it eventually. But I've been playing. I got 100% on Mario Wii U Deluxe, which is quite good, and I've been playing a lot of Ghostbusters Remastered on the Switch. It's been quite nice. It's it's definitely a game of its time. That's for certain. Definitely, PS3 era game, but yeah, it's still pretty fun. It's good. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I'm going to be starting that next week, so I'm looking forward to that. So, yep, the new generation games are coming in. So we shall see. And I've been hearing stuff about Watch Dogs Legions. Jedi, have you heard any news? I've been hearing some bad news about Watch Dogs Legions.
I mean, I've heard a couple of things. One thing is the game itself is actually good from what I've heard. I've heard people are saying that it's probably the best in the Watch Dogs trilogy. That said, I did hear that it was causing issues on some of the hardware, I believe. I thought I saw somewhere that like it was causing some kind of issues on the Xboxes, on the One X or the One S. So that's all that I've heard about it.
Yeah, and also for next week, Miles Morales, the Metacritic score has already come out for that. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. But and also the Medium, which was supposed to come out for the Xbox Series S and X, has been delayed until January now. January 28th is the new release date for the Medium. So
I'm bummed about that one.
Yeah, I was kind of looking forward to playing that, but yeah, just 1 month. Hopefully Cyberpunk still comes out on the 10th.
I was going to say, wouldn't you be too busy with that to worry about anything else coming out between now and say March?
Yeah, I think
you're going to be busy playing Cyberpunk.
Well, yeah, Assassin's Creed is going to take over a month for me at least, and then Cyberpunk after that, and then once that's finished, probably. Miles Morales or something else, and the Medium, if that new release date sticks. I don't know. Yeah. So, okay, so let's go ahead and move into the news beat. Kind of a quiet week, but Jedi, I have a question for you. So you pre-ordered a PS5, correct?
Yep. Yes, I did.
And actually, before we start that, did you get any mail? Are you still going to be receiving it on time? Because there's been some people out there saying that they've been getting messages saying that their delivery is going to be delayed.
So far for my PlayStation, my delivery is still on track. I've gotten my confirmation, and they're making sure all the billing and everything is up to date and ready. So it looks like that is coming on time. The Xbox might be delayed, but the PlayStation 5 is on track.
Excellent. So, and Dan, I know you're waiting and you didn't pre-order anything like that. It's the same as me. I'm kind of waiting for a while to get the next generation consoles. But anyway, so Jedi, anyway, so you're getting your PS5 next week. Are you happy with getting a white PS5?
For me, it doesn't really matter. I'm okay with a white PlayStation 5. I always get the base model anyways. Typically, I'm the consumer that will get all of the different kind of upgrades. I mean, right now I still have my original PlayStation 4, a special Batman gray one, and the PlayStation Pro. So I'm fine with a white one.
Okay. Well, because this last week, Sony forced PS5 Faceplate Manufacturer to cancel orders and cease production. So basically, this faceplate manufacturer was making different colored faceplates for selling around $40 in the UK. And then Sony just went crazy and basically told them to stop it, like a cease and desist order. But before that had happened, this manufacturing company had changed their name. Instead of PlayStation5.com, they rebranded to Customize My Plates. But then after that, Sony said, cease and desist. You can't sell them. And so basically all the pre-orders that had taken place before this had happened, they had to cancel all of those pre-orders. So this faceplate manufacturer was basically making several different combination color faceplates for the PS5, like in red and blue and like a charcoal gray and black. And, a lot of people had probably pre-ordered this. So, Sony, I don't know what they're thinking. I don't know what they're doing, but why do you guys think Sony had to do this? Do you think that Sony has some kind of similar plan to sell multiple colored faceplates? Or, I'm thinking that definitely some kind of custom game bundle faceplates are going to be coming in the future, like for God of War and maybe even a Miles Morales type of Spider-Man faceplate. But what do you guys think of this?
Well, yeah, it's because of money. So these guys we're going to sell. The third party company, we're going to sell their faceplates for like $35, £32 or so.
Yeah, it was like equivalent of $40 in the US.
Yeah, so $40 and £32, and Sony are going to sell theirs for about $70 and about 50 quid. That's why. Because these guys were massively going to undercut Sony. It's nothing to do with IP. It's nothing to do with copyright infringement. It would have been interesting to see if these guys, the producers, actually had some backbone and went prove it in court. Because I'd be very, very surprised. So initially they had the name, didn't they? They were called PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
And Sony went, well, you can't call that because that's too close to our name, which is true.
Yeah, PlayStation 5, yes.
Yeah, it was the original website company name, yeah.
Right.
And then Sony went, well, hang on a minute. Okay, so the company went, okay, right, we'll change our name. So the name won't be that anymore. Thanks, we're all good now. And then, some time passed, and Sony goes, oh, no, that's not good enough either. You got to cease and desist all of it, or we'll see you in court. And it would have been quite interesting if they'd gone, F off, it's a square of plastic with lugs on it. What are you going to do about it? Because we've seen things like this before, and the big company hasn't always won. Yeah. Like back in the day, Nintendo took a bunch of third-party people to court for peripherals and other devices and been soundly given the heave-ho. So,
yeah, because you see, like here in Japan, you like Hori, for example, they make custom controllers and everything.
Well, to be fair, they've got the official license though. They'll give money. They'll give Nintendo a cut for everything they sell. This is a bit different. So these guys are, fairly renegade, but it's purely down to the fact that, like you say, there will be Valhalla ones, there will be Spider-Man, and they will be phenomenally expensive. So, that's purely why they did it. It's got nothing to do with infringing IP or rights. I mean, the right to have a rectangular piece of blue plastic, that would be very hard to convince in court, I reckon. But that's just my opinion. Yeah. What do you guys think?
Jedi, what do you think about this?
So I think money is definitely a big thing. I don't know if Sony has actually announced they are going to be selling the faceplates, but I do imagine they will be, and they'll probably be what Dan was saying the price will be. I do think there's another part of it, though, and that's optics. Right now, PlayStation's coming out with all white. The white is coming out. That's what's being sold. I don't think Sony wants to have anything other than that white one out there. I think they want to keep it unified, and they want their image to be what they control. That's another part of this. That said, the money's the big thing.
Yeah. When do you think we'll see a black PS5? Sometime in 2021?
I mean, I don't imagine it'll be too far. I mean, if Sony's going to this lengths right now to go ahead and stop other manufacturers from coming out with faceplates, that means they have a plan for it, and I don't think it'll be too far into next year. Quarter 2, quarter 3.
They'll save black faceplates for the PS5 Pro. When the PS5 Pro comes out, look at our new matte black PS5 Pro coming. What should we say? Spring 2022. Yeah, that's when you get your black PS5. Because that's the cool one, isn't it? Like how they did with the Xbox, the original Xbox. Oh, nice shiny white one. Oh, here's the Elite. It's nice and black. So yeah.
Yeah, I think the black ultimately will probably sell more than the white, but
maybe. We'll see. I mean, it looks okay. Don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
I think the customizability and having your own standpoint would be good. I mean, I obviously when people get this in their own homes, they're going to unclip it, spray paint it whatever bloody color they want, and they're going to have their own custom PS5s because spray paint in plastic requires no skill or intelligence. So you could easily just clip it off, go buy a couple of cans of matte black or a can of your own color and customize your own PS5. Bang, you're done. Yeah, it's really simple to do. People have been doing it for ages, for years. So if you want your black PS5, do it yourself.
Yeah, and from these videos, like the unboxing and the video that they showed them taking apart the PS5, it's not that difficult to unclip those faceplates off.
Yeah, that's the point, I think. So, awesome.
Yeah. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the next story. So this is maybe for some people this isn't a big thing, but for some people it might be. So it was reported that the PS5, after the install of the operating system, you're going to have about 667 gig of available storage on the SSD drive that's going to be inside the PS5. With the Xbox Series X, you'll have, because it's a 1 terabyte SSD, you'll have, after install, 802 gigabytes of storage. But I don't know, man. It's like Miles Morales. I think the PS5, it's like 50 gig. I think that's the amount of install space needed. For Call of Duty, it's going to be massive. It's probably going to be close to about 100 gig. So I mean, maybe 3 or 4 games you're going to be able to store on this thing. I don't know. For especially for you, Jedi, since you're going to be getting the PS5 next week. I mean, how are you planning to use the storage? Are you thinking of having an expandable secondary drive on day one plugged in or something like that? I mean, for me, my plan is when I do eventually get the PS5 in next month or two, I have an 8 terabyte, external hard disk that I have hooked up to my PS4 Pro, and then I'll just connect it to my PS5 for backwards compatible games. And then just the PS5 games I will use on the internal drive. So, I mean, what's your plan for using, your storage options?
That's exactly the plan that I'm using. I have most of my games are on my external hard drive that I currently have right now, hooked up to my PlayStation 4. Once I get the PlayStation 5, plugging that in, those games stay there. All new PlayStation 5 games will be on the SSD, the internal SSD. When I get to the point where I feel like, I need to have more storage, I can expand it. That said, you can hot swap, you can move those PlayStation 5 games over to the external to clear up room and kind of pull in games that you're playing currently. So I plan on doing a lot of hot swapping. I think I want to say Digital Foundry did a test on how quick it was to go ahead and move things from storage internal to external, SSD to HD. And it's not that big of a thing. It's maybe 10, 15 minutes tops. It's not going to be too much of an inconvenience. I think the inconvenience comes when you have everything installed and you want to keep it installed somewhere without deleting things.
I see. Dan, what did you do with external storage and your internal storage with the PS4? And what would you plan to do if you do get the next gen consoles?
I didn't do anything with my PS4. When I finished the game, I deleted it. Basically, anything I finished, I wiped and installed the next one. Really, so I never got to the point where I needed to fill my thing. I mean, I'm pretty much at capacity now because there are a few things I've been downloading and I haven't got around to playing. I'd probably just pursue the same thing with the next one. So, unless there's a really pressing need to have all these games at once on my machine. Because traditionally, I play a game largely. I play one game per system, and I finish it and play the next game per system. So, I probably wouldn't bother really because I don't feel the need to have like 20 games on my system at any one time.
I think the people that this is going to affect the most are the players that play a lot of multiplayer games. I know a lot of people that will hop around between Modern Warfare, Apex, Fortnite, Sea of Thieves, whatever game they want to play with their friends. This is going to be a problem for them because you might come to a point where you have to pick and choose which games you have installed and which games you want to delete for later or move over for later. So it's definitely there's definitely a case for those people, but I'm kind of with Dan where I'll play what I need to right now. I never get to capacity. I'll delete when I'm done.
Yeah, and that quick resume feature that Xbox and I think PlayStation's going to have it too, where you can just quickly jump from game to game. I think that's going to be a feature that people are going to take advantage of in this coming generation. So to have more games loaded into your hard drive and just jumping between, say, like Miles Morales and like Borderlands or something like that, just in a quick resume. I think that's going to be something that people are going to take advantage of as well. So.
But also, like, go on.
I was just saying, absolutely, just agreeing.
Yeah. But also, like, don't forget, like, there will be ridiculously expensive options available. So there's a very good reason why you only get this much storage space and the games are so freaking huge. Again, it might sound a bit cynical, but both systems have phenomenally expensive, official SSD high-speed expansions coming out. So, yeah. So you're kind of over a barrel. It's kind of like it's almost like a forced, like having to buy accessories, like on the Vita. Remember, like you had to buy their proprietary SD card. So I guess it's like a stealth tax if you want to play these modern games, I suppose.
Yeah. We'll see. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see if the prices of SSDs drop next year and the year after, and whether or not these SSD drives that are out there are going to be compatible with
that's
PlayStation.
The thing. Yeah.
So, yeah, we shall see. But for some people, storage, it will be an issue. But for some, like us, probably not so much. So. Okay. Let's get into the topic of the show today. So we gotta, this is going to be an interesting one because a lot of people out there, they have a difficult time thinking about what their game of the generation was. It was a difficult choice for a lot of people that I talked to. And, what I want to talk about is, in your perspective of the game of the generation. So, for example, what makes a particular game for you the best of the generation? Is it the narrative in the game? Is it the gameplay, such as the gaming mechanics? Is it, for example, the criteria, for example, is it a game that gave you the most personal enjoyment? Did it occupy the most of your time? Or in your opinion, had the biggest impact on gaming? So I want to read first one of our listeners, of course. Yes, Burlyman Gaming, and he was also a guest on our show before. He gave his opinion for Game of the Generation. He writes, this was a hard question. I would have to say Ghost of Tsushima. It was a game I did not expect to like, but once I started playing it, I loved the combat and the story, and I loved searching for the techniques. I loved as you had options for good amounts of missions and how you played them. The graphics were stunning. Also, the stuff on the map had a purpose, as you got stat buffs and items instead of just empty completion percentage. So that was his pick for Game of the Generation. So I'd kind of like to go first here. For me, I think it comes a lot down to the game that I played the most out of this whole generation, and I got the most personal enjoyment from. And for me, it was The Witcher 3. I probably played it more than I did Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I played probably about, with all the DLC content, probably about close to 300 hours of this game. The thing I loved about it, the personal enjoyment, the character Geralt and his journey across all of these different kingdoms, and just the way that you had to always strategize how you fought a particular monster. For example, all the alchemies, all of the bombs that you had to concoct. That was really fun, the strategy point of it all, as well as the narrative. The story was excellent. The DLC probably even a tad bit better than the original game's narrative. But that search for Ciri throughout the main game. That was really an exceptional narrative point. And just the world was stunning wherever you went. The relationships that you had between different characters, the dialogue choices that you had were really amazingly and well written. So for me, I think The Witcher 3, of all the games I played during this generation, would probably be the best for me. So yeah, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, as well as the DLCs that combined it into the Game of the Year edition, I think is a must pick up for anybody who hasn't played it. And yeah, that's my game of the generation. So who wants to go next? Jedi, do you want to talk about what you felt was your game of the generation?
Yeah, sure. I can go ahead and throw, my game of the generation. I this was a hard one because it's hard to pick a game for all the reasons that you kind of said and what you want. And I was kind of, juggling between like Resident Evil 7, Assassin's Creed Origins, Zelda Breath of the Wild, all these games that kind of reinvented themselves and kind of made another impact. Ultimately, I came down with the God of War, the last God of War game that came out. I think it was 2016?
17, yeah. 17.
Yeah. So, yeah, that game for me, I picked it up. I did not expect what it was. I played the God of Wars 1, 2, and 3. I love those games. This game reinvented, the entire mythos of, the God of War series. New mechanics, but while keeping to the old mechanics. The axe mechanic was probably one of the most fine-tuned mechanics I've seen in a game. Just the weight, the feel, everything about it was just perfect. Plus, it also manages to add a humanization and makes you relate to a character in Kratos who, for the first 3, I really didn't give two nothing about. Like, I didn't care about his personal life. Sure, some stuff happened to him, but I didn't feel sympathy for him. In this one, I actually felt something for a character that I've been playing for over a decade, and this one here made me rethink and re-see all of that story and elements, and it was just overall a beautifully done game. And I think it really kicked off and launched off the new trilogy or whatever of God of War.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Dan, how about you? What's your game of the generation?
The generation, yes, got to be Bloodborne, really. Just an absolutely amazing achievement. Like I said it 100 times on this I think I mentioned it like once every episode we've done so far. Bloodborne.
It's going to be your new nickname. Dan, the retro Bloodborne man.
Pretty much. It's going to be on my friggin' gravestone. It taught me I've been playing games wrong. I'm no joke. I was, I put about 35 when that game came out, and I'm like, I've been doing it wrong this whole time. I understand when people like Dark Souls, but it's tedious for me. And Bloodborne has took Dark Souls and made it interesting, engaging, and fun. So, just they're absolutely revelationary. Just for it to grab me and go back to being a child and like drawing maps of places, like charting out the best way to run through Yharnam, where the shortcuts are, but best routes for farming. Just doing all these things. It was amazing. And of course, there's the lore, the untold lore, the environmentally taught lore. It was, just an absolutely amazing achievement. That's it for me.
So how do you think these games will be remembered over time, like in the next generation and the generation after that? I mean,
we'll be playing these games next generation because they're going to remake them all. Mm-hmm. Don't even think there isn't going to be another release of the Dark Souls trilogy. Don't think there isn't going to be a release of Bloodborne in 4K, 60 frames per second.
Yeah, they're going to make a sequel, probably, Bloodborne 2. I mean,
I really hope they don't. There's no need to. Bloodborne is perfect as it is. You could only, none of the Dark Souls, none of the sequels to Dark Souls has come close to the first one. In fact, the second one, I've not played it, but famously there was a lot of derision for the second one, and the third one kind of almost brought it back up to Dark Souls 1, but it's still, I believe the general consensus is that Dark Souls 1 is pretty damn flawless, and the other two are is that right? Would you agree with that?
So ever since I started playing these Souls games, everybody has said 1 is the peak, 2 you can throw in the trash, and 3 was pretty good as well. But yeah.
Yeah, because 3 they kind of incorporate some of the elements of Bloodborne. Because I understand 3 is quite a bit faster than 1. Because obviously it went Dark Souls 1, 2, then Bloodborne came out, and then 3 came out, and there's kind of like it's a bit of a blurring in that last one. But yeah, again, we'll be playing all these games next generation anyway, so the legacy is, hey, buy it again for 50 quid about a year or two's time.
Jedi, do you think the same will be for God of War when God of War 2 comes out?
I think so. I mean, we're already seeing that. Miles Morales is coming out with a remastered of Spider-Man, which was only a couple years old. So when the next God of War comes out, there's going to be a remaster of this God of War. And the reason they do that is because it sells.
Yeah. And expect The Witcher 4 sometime in the next generation. I think it's going to be a few years off because of Cyberpunk.
PlayStation 6.
Maybe. Yeah, that's a possibility. But yeah, you can betcha that Witcher 4 is it's already on the table, and it's they're probably in the early stages of it right now. So
absolutely.
We shall see. Okay, so for this week, Dan's retro topic is going to take a break this week.
Boo!
Because we've got
boring new games are coming out that'll be dull and uninspiring. Yay! Let's hear about all these gems, these polished turds coming to shelves.
Yes,
in the near future.
But don't be distressed, all you listeners out there. The retro topic of the week will be coming back next week, and
it's a special next week. We're only going to do retro topics next week. Episode 16 is going to be the retro episode. It's be nothing but retro goodness.
Hey, it could be, depending on how all these games are doing. We'll see.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so there's a lot of games on the list this week. Actually, some of these games are just being ported over, so I'm just going to briefly talk about those. But the other new games that are going to be coming for the next-gen systems, we're going to go into those a little bit more in depth. But this is for the week of November 9th through the 15th from Metacritic. So the first game on the list, and Jedi, I think you're going to be streaming this. I'm going to be streaming this as well from next week. Assassin's Creed Valhalla comes out on November 10th. On PS, actually for PS5, it comes out on November 12th. So on November 10th for Xbox Series X, and then PS4, Xbox One, PC, and Google Stadia. So that's coming out next week. So build your own Viking legend, become Eivor, a Viking raider raised to be a fearless warrior, and lead your clan from icy desolation in Norway to a new home amid the lush farmlands of 9th century England. So what do you guys think? Dan, especially you, what do you think of Valhalla being in your home country? Should be interesting. I think it'll probably be a little bit more interesting than Syndicate in the sense that we're looking farther back in history. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
In Syndicate, we had the world's greatest city to run around in at the time. So contemporarily, that was an amazing period of time. Going back on that, you're going to be running around a bunch of wooden huts and farms.
Yeah.
But the scenery is going to be lovely. And there'll be some of the old castles and stuff will be kicking around. But
oh, yeah. And Stonehenge is in it as well. So.
God, is it? Oh, bloody hell. All right. Okay.
Yeah. So, Jedi, how about you? What do you think of this? Yeah.
So I'm excited. I'm a Assassin's Creed fan. I've played all of them from day one. My only hesitation with this game right now is the last time we did a generation jump was with Unity, and that was a complete letdown for multiple reasons. They rushed it. It was buggy. It had mechanics in there that weren't user friendly. It was just bad. I don't think they're gonna make the same mistake, but I am wary of it. I am kind of just waiting and hoping that other people play it and say that it's good and say that it's not a problem. That says, once it smooths out, I'm 100% on board with this game.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I think one of the reasons Unity was so buggy was because it was rushed. I mean, it was like in that year to year cycle of pumping out Assassin's Creed games, and it wasn't ready. But
and Unity also had that terrible mechanic where certain things on the map you could only get from your mobile app. You couldn't get them in game. It was just bad decisions all around.
Yeah. Yeah, and from what I've been hearing, and we talked about this a little bit on one of the previous episodes, is that the stealth element is coming back more in Valhalla, so that'll be interesting. I'm looking forward to that. So, okay, the next game is a port. Borderlands 3 is going to be coming to the new consoles on November 10th for PS5. On November 12th and for Xbox Series X. So we know a lot about Borderlands already. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into the next game. So Destiny 2 Beyond Light is coming November 10th. It's the expansion on PS4, Xbox One, PC, and Google Stadia. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm amazed that's still going. Does anyone even play Destiny?
Yes.
Really?
I have a lot of friends that are extremely hyped for this update. They've been waiting for this all year. They do play it. For me, this will be probably the fourth time I install it and try to play it and then delete it after a couple of days because I have no idea what's going on. But I'm excited to get to that.
I mean, your friends, they know that other games exist, right?
They do, but they enjoy it. So here's the thing. We talk about a game like Destiny. There is so much lore in that game and so much invested. People really enjoy that. And I want to try and get into it because I want to go on their strikes and their raids, and it's done well. But again, just getting into it, I need to know what's going on. And if it's just going from marker to marker, I'm out.
Oh, interesting.
The frontier of Europa holds many lost secrets from the past, including the dark power of stasis. Work with the mysterious exo-stranger to harness this new power before Aramis, the Kell of Darkness, bestows it on her fallen forces. So there you go. More of the lore there to look forward to. Yeah. So... and then the next game, Devil May Cry 5. So that's a special edition that's being ported. So to the new consoles on November 10th. So on PS5 on November 12th and for Xbox Series X. Jedi, did you play Devil May Cry 5?
No, I actually didn't. So this is probably one that I'm going to pick up.
Yeah, me too. I'm probably going to play it on the, on the Xbox. But Dan, you played the Devil May Cry series, right?
I've had
some
of the earlier ones. Yeah, not really my thing, but I appreciate the series and what it's done. Yeah.
Okay. Next game on the list, The Falconeer, coming out on November 10th for Xbox Series X, Xbox One, and PC. So, generations of poisonous decisions and treason swirl in the deep as factions collide. Become the Falconeer and soar through the skies aboard a devastatingly powerful warbird. Uncover secrets lost to the sea as you join or oppose different factions and clans scattering throughout the great Earthsea. That's what it says here, Earthsea. Take advantage of multiple Falconeer classes with individual stats, weapons, and warbirds that can be upgraded through winning battles, completing quests, discovering secrets, or applying mutagens or chants. So simulation, flight, combat. So this kind of reminds me of the game called Abzu. Came out a few years ago.
Yeah.
More ocean related in that one. But I don't know. What do you guys think of this, The Falconeer?
I mean, I need a game to play on Xbox, so I might get it just to try it. Other than that, I'm not too excited for it.
I see.
Yeah, meh.
Okay. Dan's
That'll be all right.
Meh.
Sounds right.
Yeah. All right. Next up is a game called Fuser. Fuser on November 10th. So it's a rhythm music game on PS4, Xbox One, PC, and Nintendo Switch. So another rhythmic type of game. Work your way from the basics of mixing all the way to expert level techniques as you perform shows across 6 larger-than-life stage venues.
Oh.
So, another rhythmic type of game. And next up, here's one, Jedi, if you're looking for a game to play on Xbox, this is one that I'm looking forward to playing. Gears Tactics.
No.
Yeah,
Why
what?
not?
So, look. I played that. I played it on PC. It was riddled with bugs. It was.
Oh wow, really?
I couldn't get past. I think Act 2. So I'm not going to play it on console. Sorry, but go on.
Yeah. So maybe, maybe they've fixed out the bugs. I don't know, but Xbox Series X and Xbox One as well. So Gears Tactics is a fast-paced turn-based strategy game from one of the most acclaimed video game franchises, Gears of War. So strategy, turn-based tactics. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to playing that. I want to check it out. So I didn't play it on PC, so with all the bugs that are in it, I guess, but we'll see what happens on console. If there's still a lot of bugs, then I'll delete it. But yeah. Next up, Observer. System redo on November 10th, PS5 November 12th, Xbox Series X, PC, Xbox One on November 10th. So, have any of you played the Observer series?
I have not. I have seen some gameplay of it. It didn't look fun. It looked kind of boring to me. I expressed that to a couple people. So, of course, they requested that I play it and they used channel points. So, I will be playing that at some point, unfortunately.
Dan, how about you?
No.
Do you know anything about the Observer series?
No, but I've seen it on sale a lot. So that's my experience of it. I've seen it. It looks, yeah. Again, I'm with. It doesn't really look like my cup of tea, but I'm sure it's jolly good.
Okay. So the year is 2084 in a dark cyberpunk world. It's like almost every game that's coming out now. Like 3 out of the next 5 games are all cyberpunk related games.
Yeah.
Shattered by plagues and wars. What else is new, right? Become a neutral police detective and hack into the jagged minds of others.
This one's a remaster because I think the original one came out on the Xbox and the PlayStation 4.
Yeah. Next up, Planet Coaster Console Edition comes out on November 10th. So PS5 comes out on November 12th and also on PS4, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X on the 10th. So another one of these strategy management style games. Welcome to a new era in coaster park simulation. Bring your ideas to life with easy-to-use tools, manage all aspects of your expanding empire, and harness the world's best creations from an endlessly creative community in the Frontier Workshop. So, yeah, strategy management. Yeah, looks pretty interesting. Next up, Sakuna of Rice and Ruin comes out on November 10th for PS4, Nintendo Switch, and PC. Another action simulation RPG. So Sakuna of Rice and Ruin combines side-scrolling action with deep crafting and farming simulation. There you go, Dan.
Hey.
Farming simulation. Right up your alley.
Then. Yeah. Might be all right. I'll play that one.
Yeah. I'm surprised for your game of the generation it wasn't one of the farming simulation games because of the hours that you put into it. Yeah.
If it was going to be based on hour input alone, it'd be like Stardew or Farming Sim 2019 took me long. No, 20. Yeah. Took me by far longest. Yeah.
Players take on the role of Sakuna, a spoiled harvest goddess banished to a dangerous island with a group of outcast humans. As she explores the beautiful forbidden environments of the island, she will also find a home in a mountain village, proving herself worthy of her title by harvesting rice and bettering the lives of humans, in addition to being a fresh take on Japanese mythology and a love letter to action games. Sakuna of Rice and Ruin is an ode to rice and an engrossing simulation of the craft behind the agriculture. So, a lot to do with Japanese culture in this, so should be interesting. Yeah. So, Jedi, any comments on that one? Or
it looks interesting. Hoping to get it and play it.
Yeah. Okay. Next up, Tetris Effect Connected. So it comes on November 10th for Xbox Series X, Xbox One, and PC. So Tetris Effect is already out, of course, but this is, it's a different take on the Tetris Effect game. So Tetris Effect Connected adds an all-new robust multiplayer expansion to the huge variety of addictive and innovative single-player modes that Tetris Effect is known for, with all new co-op and competitive online and local multiplayer modes. So, yeah, I think, what is it? Tetris Effect also had the VR mode, right?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, so I'm wondering if this also has like a VR mode, probably included with it, like the base game, maybe.
I can't see why not. Yeah.
Okay, here's another game that a lot of people on Twitter have been talking about, and they're interested in playing this game. It's called 13. So in the Roman numeral 13.
Oh, yeah. 13. It was out.
Yeah, so it
brilliant.
comes out on November 10th for PS4, Xbox One, PC, and Nintendo Switch.
Whee!
Yeah.
13's
Yeah.
brilliant.
Yeah.
That's
13
actually a good game. Yeah, sorry. Go on.
Go ahead, Dan.
No, go on. Just finish your review and then finish your news and I'll chip in.
Okay, 13 is a remake of the cult first-person action game that was initially released in 2003. You play as 13, a man without an identity, in a solo campaign with numerous twists and turns. Inspired by a eponymous graphic novel, the game features a completely reinvented and unique cell-sharing design. In 13, players can also take part in fierce multiplayer fights. So go ahead, Dan. What were you going to say about this?
It's a cracking game. It came out on the GameCube and then got ported over to PS2 and Xbox at some point. It's absolutely stunning. At the time, the amazing, beautiful, big, chunky, cell-shaded graphics were amazing. And it's good, and it was voiced by David Duchovny of X-Files fame. He was the voice of 13.
Agent Mulder, yes.
Exactly. It's actually quite inventive. You get like little crazy little spy gadgets to use throughout the game, and who else? Adam West is also in it, and some rapper lady who I've forgotten is also in it. Eve, who was a very popular rapper at the time, is also in it. I'm getting this one then. Brilliant. Okay, I love that. That's cracking. That's a very good game indeed. So I'm happy about that.
Jedi, have you played this? Have you played 13?
I have not. It's gone under my radar, but hearing Dan talk about it, I want it now.
Yeah, cracking.
Cool. Yeah, I want to play it too, definitely. Another game that I'm looking forward to playing, Yakuza Like a Dragon. Another Yakuza. Yay, on November 10th. Actually, for PS5, it comes out on March 2nd. So kind of a ways away for the PS5. But so November 10th for Xbox Series X, Xbox One, PC, and PS4. So, yeah, it's interesting that it's not coming to PS5 until next year. But Rise from Rock Bottom. So Ichiban Kasuga, a low-ranking grunt of a low-ranking Yakuza family in Tokyo, faces an 18-year prison sentence after taking the fall for a crime he didn't commit. Never losing faith, he loyally serves his time and returns to society to discover that no one was waiting for him on the outside, and his clan has been destroyed by the man he respected most. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to playing this one. So probably going to be another great installation into the Yakuza series. So possibly a live stream for me, maybe. Jedi, how about you? Yakuza.
It's definitely on the list to get to and play, just probably not on the top of the list, maybe in the middle.
Okay. All right. Here's one for the PlayStation and also for PC, Bug Snacks. Bug Snacks on November 12th for PS5, PS4, PC. So, Bug Snacks. So, go ahead. You're going to say something?
I am excited for this one. This one here is probably one of the games I'm most excited for the PlayStation 5.
Yeah. Action, general adventure, 3D, first person. Explore whimsical Snacktooth Island in search of unanswered a snack, maybe? In this first-person adventure, you play as a journalist who receives a mysterious film from the disgraced explorer, Elizabeth Megathig. She invited you to Snacktooth Island to witness her latest and greatest discovery, Bug Snacks. Lured by the promise of a great story, you travel to the island to interview Elizabeth and her group of misfit grumpuses. In the pursuit of your big scoop, you get caught up in hunting bug snacks, feeding grumpuses, and solving the mysteries of the island. So, yeah, it looks pretty interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dan, how about you? Are you excited for Bug Snacks at some point?
Probably. It's not, an urgent play by any means. But if I was going to buy, a PlayStation 5 and there's nothing to play on it, I'd probably end up just buying that out of desperation. So that's pretty
Okay.
got that going for it.
Okay. Next up, Demon Souls. So on November 12th, it's a remake for PS5. So from Japan Studio and Bluepoint Games comes a remake of the PlayStation classic, Demon Souls. In addition to shadow effects and ray tracing, players can choose between two graphics modes while playing one focused on fidelity and one focused on frame rate. So for both of you guys, which would be more important for you, the fidelity or the frame rate mode?
I think frame rate.
Fidelity. I don't know. I don't care what difference is. Yeah. Just frame rate. It's an arbitrary number. I'm sure it's fine.
Next up on the list, Godfall on November 12th. Godfall action RPG for PS5 and PC. So, and I've heard they've been saying that it's coming to Xbox sometime next year in May.
Yeah, I've heard this. Yeah, interesting.
It's a timed exclusive, yeah.
Yeah. So, save Aperion. You are the last of the Valorian Knights, masters of combat equipped with legendary armor called Valor Plates. Ascend in Godfall, a first-of-its-kind looter-slasher melee action RPG. So, I don't know, like a combination of Destiny meets, I don't know, Bloodborne or something like that. I don't know.
Cool.
Yeah. So, role-playing action RPG, yeah.
Yeah, I don't have much faith in this one. It's through Gearbox, right?
Yeah.
So in my opinion, Gearbox is good for one thing, and that is Borderlands, and even that's getting stale. So it's just one of those ones where I'm going to wait, see here. If it is good, I might pick it up, but definitely towards the bottom of my list.
Okay. Just Dance 2021 comes out on November 12th. Another rhythm game for PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and Google Stadia. Yeah.
Right.
So a game for Google Stadia. Just Dance 2021 is the ultimate dance game with 40 hot new tracks from chart-topping hits like Don't Start Now by Dua Lipa, Feel Special by Twice, Senorita by Shawn Mendes and Camila Cabello, and more. So yeah, action rhythm. Yeah. So I don't know. There's so many of these types of games. I mean, even with the Persona series, you have the rhythm games. I don't know. Probably farther down on my list for sure. What about for you guys?
Nah.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah. Yeah. Next up, The Pathless for PlayStation 5, PS4, PC, and iOS. Comes out on November 12th. So an action adventure from the creators of Abzu. There you go. The Pathless is a mythic adventure game about an archer and an eagle in a vast forest. Become the hunter, a master of archery who travels to a mystical island to dispel a curse of darkness that grips the world. Forge a connection with your eagle companion as you hunt corrupted spirits, but be careful not to become the hunted yourself. Explore misty forests full of secrets, solve puzzles in ancient ruins, and test your skill in epic battles. The bond with your eagle and the fate of the world hang in the balance. So yeah, this is just like Abzu.
This one sounds fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, only more what? Only more birdie.
Only more birdie, yeah, definitely. Jedi, what do you think of The Pathless?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I enjoyed Abzu, and this is done by Giant Squid, which I think is the people that did Abzu. So I've since I saw the trailer, I've been kind of waiting for this one. It's one that I'm pretty sure that the wife will want to play with me.
Cool. Next up, Sackboy, A Big Adventure. So for PS5 and PS4 on November 12th. So yes, Sackboy. Iconic PlayStation hero Sackboy returns in an all-new 3D adventure with a deeply immersive and expressive control scheme. Players can go on this epic platforming journey solo style, or they can team up with friends for collaborative, chaotic multiplayer fun. So Jedi, I think this one's going to be huge on Twitch, maybe.
It might be. I think I haven't looked into it at all because I'm I like the original. What was it? The Sackboy games. So this one here is just kind of a whatever for me.
Yeah. Dan, how about you for Sackboy?
Yeah, no, it sounds good. I'm familiar with the character. I like it. Yeah.
Okay.
I would be involved in this one for sure.
Okay. Next up, Spider-Man Miles Morales on November 12th for PS5 and PS4. So it's funny, the Metacritic scores they gave for this. For PS5, they gave an 85.
Okay.
And the PS4, they gave an 84.
So
what's
the
up with the 1 point
valuelessness.
difference?
Yeah, exactly right. How utterly futile review scores are. How utterly meaningless. Brilliant. Awesome.
I imagine that's because there's such little reviewers that have PlayStation 5s, so there's probably more PlayStation 4 reviews out there. Yeah, I think that's the only delta. I don't think there really is a difference between the two.
Yeah,
it's just the PlayStation 4 has more people reviewing it.
Yeah. All right.
Weird.
So the latest adventure in the Spider-Man universe builds on and expand Marvel's Spider-Man through an all-new story. Players experience the rise of Miles Morales as he masters new powers to become his own Spider-Man. With PS5's SSD, players can near instantaneously fast travel across Marvel's New York City or feel the tension of each one of Miles' web swings, punches, web shots, and venom blasts with the DualSense wireless controller's haptic feedback. Cool. Highly detailed character models and enhanced visuals across the game intensify the story of Miles Morales as he faces great new challenges while learning to be his own Spider-Man. Yeah, I mean, the haptic feedback and the DualSense controller, I think that's going to be awesome for this game. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, the map is going to be expanded in this game, maybe getting more of, like, say, Brooklyn and Queens, maybe? I don't know.
That'd be good.
Jedi, do you know anything on that?
No, I don't know anything about that.
Yeah, I don't know. Or maybe they're saving that for the next Spider-Man at some point in the future. But looks stunning. Using that DualSense controller is going to be interesting for this game for sure. Dan, do you have any comments for Miles Morales?
Yeah, I'm interested in it. Again, I'll get around to it eventually. I thoroughly enjoyed the first one. I'm mildly concerned it's just a case of like Spider-Man more, like Spider-Man 1.5, and not a great deal of difference, which is kind of which the review scores kind of indicate to me. The fact it's only getting 85s just suggests that it's kind of like, those are like extra mission pack review scores. So I don't know. I'll play it eventually. I'll definitely play it. That's without question.
Yeah. Okay, next up, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War comes on November 13th for PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X, Xbox One, PC on November 13th. So I think, November 13th. That's a Friday, actually. Yeah. So Black Ops Cold War will drop fans into the depths of the Cold War's volatile geopolitical battle of the early 1980s. Nothing is ever as it seems in a gripping single-player campaign where players will come face-to-face with historical figures and hard truths. Yeah, I'm sure you guys might have seen the trailer that had President Reagan in it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know, man. I think, as they pump these games out every year, I mean, the campaign looks a little interesting, but I mean, the multiplayer, everything else, pretty much it's going to be the same as the previous Call of Duty, I think.
Yeah, I think that's a fair statement. I doubt it's going to be groundbreaking in any way. It's like the inclusion of an uncanny valley Reagan. But, yeah. It'll probably be just fine. More shooting brown people in the face. the Call of Duty standard.
Yeah.
So
Jedi, go ahead.
The thing that I'm looking forward to this one is we've seen something this year where how we have yearly games like the Call of Duties and the NBAs and the Maddens and the NHLs, and all of those yearly games so far to date have come back and said they haven't been good because it's the same thing every year. I'm actually curious to see how this one's going to do, because if the trend that we've been seeing this year is going to keep up, this game is not going to do good. It's going to get slammed by the reviews. But as you said, it's all the same thing. They might put some things back they pulled out from last year's multiplayer. Nothing groundbreaking. I think what's the multiplayer that's out there right now? The Warzone. That's going to still do what it needs to do for Call of Duty.
Yeah, this doesn't have anything to... Oh, go ahead, Dan.
No, go on after you.
I was just going to say, too, well, it has nothing to do with Call of Duty, but some of the news from the Avengers game, too, that it's really tanking now. It's not doing very well.
It's almost like for a live game, you should have live content.
Yeah. Yeah, they were saying that it's already lost Square Enix like over 60 million. That's a big hit for them. But so yeah, Dan, you were going to say something about the Call of Duty series.
Yeah, I mean the whole, ever since a few games in now, I mean the whole single player campaign has just been to flesh out and to give value to the multiplayer game. I think if they sat down and made a really laser focused single person campaign and didn't so much worry about how we're going to incorporate this into a multiplayer thing, I think that'd be a very positive move for them, I think. But they never will, because there's no money in the single player campaign. So,
and what's going to be interesting about this game too is as we were talking about the storage issues earlier in the episode.
Massive.
Yeah, it's massive. But I think now with this game, you'll be able to choose between, okay, I want to only install the multiplayer version of the game, or I only want to install the campaign. So we'll see how that works out.
Yeah.
Okay, next up on the list, we're getting close to the end here. So Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory. Another rhythm game. So that's like 3 rhythm games coming out in the same week. So for PS4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch. So experience the music of Kingdom Hearts like never before. Melody of Memory features 20 plus characters, 140 music tracks, and online versus multiplayer mode. So yeah, I don't know, man. Maybe this is something that you'd want to play on the Switch. I don't know, because it's interesting. There aren't many Switch games coming out this week. It's mostly, focused on the new consoles. So,
which might be intentional.
Yeah, I think so. And last up on the list, Sims 4 Snowy Escape Extension Pack. So an expansion pack, actually. For PS4, Xbox One, PC. Comes out on November 13th. So chase your thrills. Grab skis for a downhill ride. Strap on a snowboard to shred. Bundle up on a sled with another sim, or build rock climbing skill for excursions to the peak. So a simulation virtual life game just in time for the late fall and the winter season, I think. So on November 13th. So that's it.
Wow.
We're finished with all of the games here coming out. So actually what's interesting, Dan, next week on the list, there's only 2 games so far.
Oh, okay. Well, that's because this is when Cyberpunk was supposed to be coming out.
Yeah.
So everyone was like, "Well, f that! I'm not going to release a game anywhere near Cyberpunk coming out." Which is why this week's so damn busy, I guess.
And now everything that was going to be coming out in December, they're like, "Oop,
we're dead." Yeah,
move out of the way.
Yeah.
Maybe that's one of the reasons why that horror game we were talking about earlier.
That's absolutely feasible. It is just maybe just to avoid just being lost in the stampede for 2077.
Yeah, just get it into January. Yeah. So what's your pick, guys? I think, of course, for me, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, because I'm probably the biggest Assassin's Creed fan on the show today. But I've played every single Assassin's Creed game.
Fight.
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed nerd fights. Round one.
I'd probably, I'd say out of all these games, Assassin's Creed Valhalla is the game. Of course, I'm going to be streaming it from next week. Miles Morales would probably be number 2. But yeah, Valhalla for me. What about for you guys?
After you, chap.
I think for me, it's going to be Miles Morales, just because Valhalla is up there. As I said, I want to let it simmer and make sure it's not bug ridden before I hop into it and get my heart broken again.
Good call.
Yeah. I'll be the first to report to you, Jedi, on those bugs if there are any. So
Appreciate it.
No, there will be. It's not if. It's there will be.
Right,
yeah.
I mean, I don't want to have a bug where I do a mission and I fall through the map and have to restart like an entire hour's worth of progress. I don't need that anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I will lose it if that happens. Yeah. Dan, how about you? Of all these games, which one?
Of all these games, I want to play the 18-year-old one. Yeah, I want to play 13. That looks amazing. I've been watching the trailer actually while we've been talking, and it looks pretty freaking special. I don't think I'll be getting it on the Switch because I think I want the extra the graphical improvement. So I'll be playing on the PS4 Pro. Yeah, that one and that Rice game. That Rice game sounds fun. Sakuna of Rice and Ruin. I'll be investigating both of those.
Yeah. Like we were saying, it has a lot to do with Japanese culture, and there have been some games recently. That game that was based in India, I think it was that indie game that just came out recently. That's been doing pretty well. More games are coming out now where you're seeing a lot of different countries' cultures highlighted, and I think that's a good thing here in the gaming industry. So, yeah. All right. So that is our list of the new games coming out. So a ton of them. Blimey. So, yeah, man. Any last minute predictions for the launches for PS5, Xbox Series X? What do you guys think when it comes to sales, when it comes to people getting their consoles on time? Any kind of missteps or mishaps that could happen with installations or anything like that? Any last minute predictions from you guys on that?
I mean, nothing wild. We know PlayStation's going to outsell the Xbox. Even then, I think if there are any weird things, any hiccups in hardware, we know that they use different parts for different cases for this reason. If there is a malfunctioning piece, they can easily fall back to the backup piece. So it's going to be the normal thing. You're going to have people that don't get theirs on time. Nothing breaking news. No hot takes, at least for me.
Okay, Dan, how about you? What do you think?
I think there'll be some, people who won't be getting on time. I think there'll be some disappointed people, obviously. But I think that's about it, really. Surprise-wise, I can't imagine there'll be much. Yeah, aside from the odd, maybe technical issue. I think the days of, the Xbox 360 launch, which was an absolute abortion. The days of the PlayStation 2 launch, which was also an absolute abortion. Loads of hardware errors. I think these days are a bit more savvy to that. So, yeah. I imagine I'd be quite surprised. I think there's going to be a bit of a bigger Xbox pickup than people are expecting, maybe, based on last generation. I don't know.
Yeah.
It'd be very interesting to see, actually, how Microsoft do at this initial burst based on, what we've seen already, I think.
I agree with you on that. I think, especially if you're coming in first-time Xbox player and you want to get a new console, and the Xbox come right now with the, the Game Pass Ultimate, so you have access to that library. Yeah. It's very enticing for people to get a console. The one thing I did see that I don't know if it's too concerning or not was a couple of the demo kits for the PlayStations have been overheating. That said, I would say that's most likely because they kept it in a non-ventilated case. But if I've seen multiple of them, it's just a trend that I might want to look out after.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting how these games are being tested from the start, like Valhalla and Miles Morales, and how they perform, and if there are any heating issues or anything like that. Ventilation is core to making sure that these things don't overheat. So, the place where you put it in the room, that's going to be very important for this generation, I think. So,
and you're limited on where you can put the PlayStation because that thing is a beast.
It's a mammoth.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, it's huge. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. Thanks, guys, for that. And before we conclude the episode, I want to let everyone know where you can find me on social media. On social media, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at expat_2020 and on my YouTube channel, Expat2020 Gaming, where you can see my latest videos related to new game releases, game trailer impressions, as well as this podcast. You can also find me on Facebook at Expat2020, and I have a Discord server named the Expat2020 Arena, with a great community. Jedi, you're a part of it. Thank you so much. Where all of you are welcome to join and support other content creators, discuss anything and everything related to video games, promote your live streaming, as well as leave questions and comments for the podcast. Finally, I'm a live streamer and a Twitch affiliate, and you can catch my live streams on twitch.tv/expat2020, as well as on my website for content creation at expat2020.live. So that does it for me. Jedi, where can people find you on social media?
People can find me on Twitter at CorelianJedi, as well as Twitch. I'm stream there regularly through the week. Again, twitch./whatever, CorelianJedi, you'll find me. I'm there. Yeah, that's all I got. That's where you can find me.
Okay, thanks, man. And we really appreciate you coming on the show again. And we hope to see you again soon, of course, man.
Hey, thanks for having me again.
Yeah. And Dan, what about... actually, I had a question for you, Dan. Now that the UK is back under lockdown, that's correct, right?
Yeah, we are, yeah.
Is the Center for Computing History closed down again, or what's the situation there?
We haven't even opened. We were getting pretty close to opening, and then we flooded. So we've closed... Well, we didn't even open, but we maintained our closure while we were flooded. And then, second lockdown's been announced. But we're still recovering from the flood, so we won't be opening again until next year. I see. But we're doing lots of cool stuff in the meantime, lots of streams and stuff. In fact, this weekend, actually, they're on Twitch as we speak. There is a streamathon to kind of raise funds to repair some of the damage that was made during the flood.
Awesome.
I'm going to be on it. I will be on it, I think, from 5 until 6 today, GMT.
Awesome. Cool.
And tomorrow at 10 p.m. until midnight, we're having a little 90s sleepover themed stream slot. Mm-hmm. So we're going to be playing lots of old 90s games, and we have some 90s memorabilia kicking around. It's going to be a lot of fun. So I don't know where and when it is. I don't know where it is. It's on Twitch. So if you type in, I don't know, Center for Computing History Flood Streamathon, you'll stumble across it, no doubt.
All right. Okay. Thanks, Dan. Thanks for that.
Right, thank you.
All right. And to end the show today is our Indie Recording Artist Spotlight of the Week. This week's artist was our Spotlight artist in our very first episode. Yay. From Queensland, Australia, pop artist Marlo, from the title song of her album, The Future Is Now. So the future is now, guys. The new consoles, we're days away. The future is now. Wow. So, yep. I'm Expat2020, and for my co-host Dan and our special guest, CorelianJedi, this has been The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast. We hope to see you in the next one. Take care, everyone. Peace. Out.
Out.
So now you're here again, knocking at my door. A little too late for, I'm sorry for. The lights went out 'cause you kept cutting the cord, and I started to fade into your gray. See, I finally opened up my eyes, and I saw me coming back to life. That I'd be better without you inside. It's time to be someone I wanna recognize. Is now. The future is now. The future is now. I waited for you in the passenger seat. There's only so far I can ride. While you were chasing everything else but me, I'm starting to break out from your grave. See, I finally opened up my eyes, and I saw me coming back to life. That I'd be better without you inside. It's time to be someone I wanna recognize. The future starts right now. I made a reservation, but you never came, so I'm checking out. The fire you stole away, I know one day would come back around. The future is now. The future is now. I'm not backing down, 'cause the future is now. Not backing down, 'cause the future is now.